morning, good evening, good night, good day, and good. Salutations from Northwest. Another day, another blessings, another day of an attitude with a gratitude. Yeah, I salute you, my friend. Yeah, don't hesitate. Click that button, man. Like it, subscribe to it, view it, and leave some comments. I like to hear from you. Mostly on a subject like tuko riadha. Here we go again. It never gets old. It's always new because we like highlights, updates, reviews as we march on towards the World Championship in Tokyo in September. It's not far from now. And if you've been an athlete, it takes a while to get going. And while we are getting going, there's a protest. There's an outrage from Kenya. I talked about it in my episode. I think it was a 142 episode. I aired my outrage of the Athletic Kenya, taking the fun, taking the trials and bringing it to Eugene. Yes, it could be for me, but I didn't ask for it. I think Kenyans deserve to see their athletes grind it out, try it out in Kasarani, Ulinzi, whatever track we have in Kenya. They deserve to see their athletes as they filter themselves out to see the top three go in the World Championship. They deserve it. And so there's a protest from me, an outrage as I put it, and it's reached the ground. It's reached the ground. And what I find disturbing to me is that there's no consultation when this was done. It was not even in the calendar, so the athletes didn't even know. It was just like a last minute, we are going back to Eugene. And the AK, led by Barnabas Korir, claims to have made an arrangement with Eugene. As I said before, they say they have these arrangements. Tradition? How can you have tradition when this is your second time around? The only tradition I know in Kenya is that we've always had our trials in Kenya before the World Championship. This Barnabas Korir claiming tradition to me is outrageous. It just tells us how we are removed from the reality and the well-being of our athletes and the Kenyan people as a whole. And the statements these guys make to me makes no sense. That one of the athletes, let me go to the athletes first. Let me just give athletes a place or a space where they've aired their outrage. One of them, who was anonymous athletes, he talks about we should have been told well in advance. Apparently, they were not, of the trials being moved, and perhaps the date included in the calendar of events. We can't wake up one day, the athlete says, and make decisions without even consulting us. Our management or coaches, he says, is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. I don't understand the brains and the mindset of these officials led by Barnabas Korir, whom I've talked about at length. I've given him his flowers, but I'm giving his Barbie. I'm giving it his, what part of the opposite of flowers is, it is. I think these management group, these officials, have been hijacked. I think they are pandering to the West. The fact that they are bringing it to Eugene, as I said last time, it just tells me they're pandering to Nike, entertaining the crowd here, and bring the best. And I think one of the things that the athletes have expressed, and I agree, is that if you look at the elite athletes, if you are talking about British Chebet, who is top, I know the Americans want to see her come here and maybe do some damage in 10K and maybe excite them, and they can see another maybe record being broken or 5K record being broken. I think it's what the Americans like to see. It's a thrill, it's an excitement moment for them. What happened to Kenyans? These are not Kenyan athlete. So one of the complaints that's coming out from this outrage and this protest is that it favors the elite athletes like Captain Faith Kipyegon, the Mary Moraz, these they've traveled and traversed the world of athletics. So to get a visa for them will be easy. It will be no problem. And for them, it's not a big adjustment. But if you think of the low-lying or the unknown athletes in Kenya, Visa in this climate we live in and the leadership of this country that is very anti-immigrants won't be easy. It won't be easy. The officials claim we've made arrangements with America. You can make arrangements with America, but we have people in power in this place that don't care about these the quote-unquote shithole countries. That's a fact. There's a new ban on many African countries like Somalia. They've been banned. They can't get a visa to come to this country. And so for officials in Kenya to think, oh, we'll just go to the embassy and just tell them we want these athletes to come to America, it sounds very arrogant to me. It's as if they're not even listening to what is being played out in this climate of political mayhem in this country and how they're very anti-people visiting, anti-immigrants coming to this country. And that really doesn't sit well with athletes who are preparing for the World Championship. Think about having to go through the process of visa and the whole shenanigans that goes with it. And it's not as easy as Barnabas Korir might try to assure the athletes. You can't just go to American embassy now and say, oh, yeah, Kenyans, they are going to Eugene trials. It might sound good. It might be something you can say when you are in front of the mic, but it doesn't play out like that. And so I'm concerned about the well-being of the athletes and them trying to go to the World Championship. Like I say, the elites, they already have visas. I suspect people like I say the elite athletes, I don't have to repeat them, it won't be a problem for them. But for those who haven't traveled, but they still are capable of running 10,000 and qualifying for the World Championship, it's another roadblock they have to deal with. Visa and the fact that they are not even sure of making the trials or even competing in the trials. What a nightmare for Kenyans. I'm not a big fan of this, that even these guys can claim this. Listen to this nonsense, okay? It says that it's tough at high altitude if you note. 4 of the 7 athletes that made the standards did so at last year's Prefontaine Classic. Really? Barnabas, you're gonna tell me high altitude is a problem now in Kenya? These athletes have lived in that country for so long. You're gonna tell me yes, it's not easy in high altitude, but that's what makes Kenya special. If you can go through those trials and make it the top 3, you stand a better chance when you go to Tokyo to compete at the higher level because you've been tested at the high altitude. What's wrong with being tough? That's how you get them to be tougher. I think the lack of transparency from these Barnabas and the AK officials in the association in Kenya just makes me suspect that these guys maybe have been bought. I won't be surprised that there's something going on and the athletes are not even aware. We are not aware. There's no transparency. We don't even know whether money was exchanged. It won't pass anybody's test when it comes to Kenyan officials. They are notoriously people who just want to fatten their pockets. I'm saying this because they have a history and there's an impunity and this idea that they're above the law and they just make autocratic decisions, almost like they don't even consult athletes. They just say, oh, we're going to Eugene tomorrow for trials on the 5th of July. These athletes don't even know it was 5th of July they're having trials. They are training for maybe the right window of trials or the right date that they've been given. That's another protest for me, right? And I'm still gonna say it's not right. You can hear the athletes saying it's not right, but the officials are saying, oh, it's easier for you if you go and do the trials in Eugene. What do you mean it's easier? I've talked about visa. I've talked about being ambushed by a calendar or the date that doesn't match their training. Oh boy, it's exhausting when you're talking about Kenya. It's not just for the athletes. Any transaction in Kenya, any issue in Kenya is, can I say, is a nightmare. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I hope they take into considerations the well-being of the athletes. It's not asking a lot. It's asking that, hey, let us know in advance so we can plan this thing. And don't take it too far for us to go and try out for the World Championship. It's a big stage. There's World Championship, Olympics, that's all they have. That's where they want to put their names in place. That is that. Let's celebrate something away from Kenya. Let's have a moment to celebrate in Angelo. Netherlands. We were there this Monday. There was a small meet that was taking place there, and it was a low key, almost local, but good names showed up, led by the local Femke Ball, the hurdler, 400 meters hurdles. She's been working and training herself new approach techniques, and she's trying to challenge the Olympic champion, uh, Lavron, the unbeatable, and she ran a 52 in front of a home crowd, which was a little bit slower from Rabat. But I think you can tell that she I think I like the fact that she's being transparent and more open about what she's been doing, and she talks about how when you think of the 400 hurdles, it's a very technical. It has a technicality. You cannot chop. You have to keep that rhythm between the hurdles. And that's where you see how good an athlete is. And you cannot be thinking of the hurdles. You can only think of the runs. Because if you think of the hurdles, they become barriers. I'm just giving you a psychological approach because I've coached it. If you are seeing those barriers, those hurdles, they're going to trip you. But if you are seeing yourself running through them, you huddle. You don't jump. You just huddle. Huddle means that you make it such a small part of your running, but it's still a huge part because at the end you start to feel that you've been going over barriers. But that's when it's towards the end. But in the beginning, you just want to be pushing it. So she's been trying to work on that. I think she's changed her lead leg, the lead leg where you hop, and then the trailing leg comes over. I like to give you guys that perspective so you can see the finesse and the technicality of it. It's a very technical event. Most athletes can run, but when you have barriers, can be a challenging part of your run. She wins that race ahead of everybody else that was on the field, including Gianna Woodruff from Panama. So that was a win for her. She was at home. 52-5 is a good win this time of the year. I suspect she's refining her techniques. I hope it's going to be a good head-on competition with the Lavron, the American. Beyond, and then the other field event that I'm interested in sharing with you guys is the U.S. two-time world champ. She threw the shot put, man. If you haven't seen her, she's a fully tattooed lady, great, very flamboyant. She has a presence on the shot put, 20.54 meters. Quite a start for her. Great start, a superb start for her outdoor. Is the world lead. She's the one to beat. That's what I'm trying to articulate here. Jackson Chase, Jackson Chase. I don't know which part of state she's from here in America, but I think I've been keeping an eye on wins and losses and dominance, and she's dominated right now. 20.54 meters in shot put is some distance. Yes, let me give you another one from Angelo in Netherlands. I'll give you one more here. Maybe you can think about. No, let's go straight to 3,000 steeplechase. Perut Chemutai, the Ugandan. She had no competition, honestly, because our winning time was way superior for me here, even to say anything happened to her, because a 907 was, she seems to have had a command on that one. She won by 13 seconds. Wow. Against Ethiopian Wasan Asefa in 9:20. Wow, that's a huge gap. Yeah, Peru Chemutai, of course, she had no competition. Faith, Babyface, Cherotich was not there. Yavi was not there. It was small meet in Angelo. People are just trying to find meets where they can, tune up their bodies, get things under the belt, so to speak, so they can feel the race. And some of these races, when you go to really when there's no competition, is when you really try to figure out how your training has been going. And some of these, like Peruche Mutai, just winning by almost so many seconds away from the rest of the competition, it gives you that confidence. You want to build confidence going to the World Championship, and it could be good for her because she didn't do well the last time. I think she faded to fourth in Doha, if I remember, against Faith, when Faith won against Yavi, uh, the Bahrainian. So good for the Ugandan. The 800 meters, wow, decent time here for you guys. Mark English, an Irish runner, 1:43.9. Goodness me, that's quick. Second place was France, a French guy, Yanis Maziane, 1:44.32. Australian Peyton Craig was third in 1:44.32. What? That was a close finish. That was a lean. Oh, I see the times were tied, but he won by micro. That's nice. Wow. So that's it, guys. 400 meters. Let's talk about that for a second here. There's a guy from Dutch. He's a Dutch young local guy, under 23. Jonas. I can't say the last name. Wilfus. 44.93. Great. And then Brazilian Matthias Lima. 45.21. Oh, the Botswanese, Buzang, Kabinashipi. Oh, man, he didn't finish. Pulled out with a hammy. Goodness me. Hammy right now during the early part of this is never good, my friend. Hamstrings can take a long time to recover. It's part of the 4x4 relay. Botswana, you are in a hole. You are one leg down with a hamstring from Busang pulling out in Dutchland, Angelo. Well, what about that for Monday update on a Tuesday? Protest, man. Come on, guys. Give Kenyans something to look forward to. The country has been going through a lot. I think athletics, sports, gives people an outlet to celebrate something. I think Kenyans deserve to see the best, the Beatrice of this world, the whatever caliber of athletes we have, they deserve it to see it at a local level. I don't know why we have to bring them to Eugene. I think Eugene and the crowd here have enough to entertain them. Kenyans need an outlet, my friend. They shouldn't be protesting about everything. Officials, my God, give them some ice cream, something. Give the Kenyans what they deserve. Don't tell me it's tough to race in high altitude. You live there, Barnabas. Come on, Korir. That's a lot of excuses, man. Tell me, why is it that we are coming to Eugene for the trials? No idea. Makes no sense. It's ludicrous. It's almost, I can say, it's a lot of baloney. That's a protest, outrage. And they're right. They are not transparent enough. We don't know what is being exchanged for these trials to come to Eugene. We were in Hangelo, man. Femke Ball, the hurdler, winning it in style. Mark English, the Irish. There you go. That was me, man. Tukoriada. Cheers. It's me. I'll see you again. We are in Oslo. We are in Oslo on Friday. And you see Nobel Prize winners will show up there. I have no previews yet. I'll give you my take, who is who, in Oslo. Oslo is always beautiful. They'll have a mile, I know for sure. They'll have, I think, 800 somewhere. As you know, those are my events. I'll give you a few hurdles, 110s, maybe 100-meter dashes. I'm kind of just trying to give you a sample of beauty. See you in Oslo on Friday. That was it. Signing off. Boop. Love.